What's up YouTube? Today I will continue with my series Investing in Greatness. Today is the number 31. You can check the other ones on my YouTube channel. There is actually a playlist for all of them. Today's play is a special one. I'm talking about Pelé, one of the GOATs, one of the best players ever, and you guys have been waiting for a long time for me to do Investing in Greatness in the Brazilian GOAT, and the day is finally here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you can leave a like, I would appreciate that quite a lot. At the end of the day, it's the best way to show support. Apart from that, a lot of viewers are not even subscribers. Consider to change that if you are in that position. Two things more before we go into the video. I have a Patreon community where I put a lot of content there. If you want to support me, that will be great. And I also have a Discord community that is growing quite fast. I will leave links below the video if you want to check both, and I will also try to put a QR code on the screen if you want to go that way. That being said, guys, hope you enjoy this video. Like I said, a lot of work, and have fun. Let's go into the video. So guys, like I was saying, let's continue with the series Investing in Greatness, number 31, and we are talking about Pelé. One of the best players ever, for a lot of people actually the GOAT player, and I think this will be an amazing Investing in Greatness. I had to do a lot of research, like I was saying, because the Pelé market is not easy at all, and especially if you try to dig for extra information, tends to get really difficult. But I think I have a good compilation of stuff that I want to share with you, especially talking about rookie material. But before I go into that, I need to do my disclaimer. Short one, no financial advice, always do your own research. No one can predict the market, fundamentals are your best friend in the long run. Any card I will show in this video or any video I can eventually be buying or selling. English is not the main language. Any types of mispronunciations, I'm sorry. Let's start with Pelé greatness. And Pelé greatness is very easy to understand. 3 times World Cup, until this day this is a record. 2 times Copa Libertadores with Santos and 6 times Brazil League with Santos and more. This is, of course, GOAT status type of player, and I think it's very easy to understand why if you just look at 3 times World Cup, the most important tournament in the world. So many people call him the king, and for a good reason. Superstar in his time and one of the most football players ever. Arguably the GOAT, since winning 3 times World Cup is such an amazing and crazy achievement. By the way, when I say this is the GOAT, that the GOAT, I said Maradona was the GOAT, I said Pelé was the GOAT, and I also said Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are the GOAT, because I put all of these guys in a very special place. At the end of the day, everyone have some preference. Maybe you like Pelé more, maybe you like Maradona more, but you get the point. He's without a doubt GOAT level type of player. End up changing the game. Until this day, a lot of his stats / records are relevant. So, in terms of greatness, you don't need to be afraid. You are collecting one of the most important players ever. I would say one of the most important players in all sports, honestly, because Pelé ended up being such a superstar, such an important figure at the time that his greatness is huge. So, before I actually start talking about the rookie material, I want to give a shout out to Epic Cardboard aka El Rey Collection, Al, good friend of the channel. I actually have a podcast with him on this channel, so if you just search on my YouTube, you will find it quite easy. He is one of the biggest collectors I know for Pelé, and he actually have a YouTube channel with amazing content. There is a series on Pelé that he talks about the rookies, the 60s, the 70s, and I think that information will be also quite amazing if you want to complement with the video I'm doing. I'll end up also helping me with a couple of information for the video today, so I could not recommend more. Amazing content, amazing collector, and probably the best person to talk about Pelé if you have any types of doubt. So, moving on, and let's start with true rookie material. And the true rookie material here is actually 57. I understand 58 tends to be the year that people talk the most, but the reason is actually quite obvious. The 57 cards are so difficult to find that we agree that 58 is still rookie material, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But the reality is there is 2 cards on 57. I'm talking about 57 Americana and 57 Oliveira Benassi. The one that you are seeing on the screen, the first one is a SEC 2. PSA total is 2, SEC total is 1, so is actually the one you are seeing on the screen. The top grade on SEC is the 2, and the top grade on PSA is a 1.5, and there is 1 copy at that grade. The top sale was very close to half a million, and is the card you are seeing on the screen, the SEC 2. I guess I'm saying SEC too many times, but you get the point. The second card is Oliveira Benassi. This card is actually owned by Al El Rey Collection, the person I was recommending you a couple of minutes ago. Beautiful card, Balas Equipe. This is a 1.5, is actually the top grade, and PSA total is 2. Top sale was 182k for the PSA 1.5. If you want to know more about the Americana, I think it's important to have in mind that there is a couple of variations, still a very difficult sticker to find no matter the variation, but for example you have this one with a yellow background, different number, there is also I believe with different points, and again the rarity for now is difficult to say, is this more rare than the other? We do not know for sure. One thing that I feel comfortable to say is they are quite difficult to find no matter the variation. Now if you want to take a look at the albums, these are historical albums for Pelé, Balas Football and Balas Equipe. Balas, if you don't know, in Portuguese, basically, actually in Portuguese from Portugal, balas means bullet, but in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, if I can say that, this is basically means candy, a sweet. So interesting stuff if you ask me. Very difficult cards to find, grail cards, some of the most special cards you can own. I don't expect me to own any of these anytime soon, probably ever. So, but I also think it's amazing to share with you guys what are probably the grails, at least in my perspective, for Pele. One thing that I always do with investing in greatness, I leave a eBay affiliate link. I will try to redirect to certain Pele early stuff cards that if you click the link, I get a commission. If you buy something, for you is totally free. But if you want to support the channel, checking the eBay affiliate links is something that I would appreciate. Moving on to rookie material, and this is probably the year that more people believe they can afford, or they actually have cards, because the 57, there is very few people in the world with cards for Pelé in that year. That's why 58 goes by the rookie year, the true rookie year, if that even makes sense, even though we know there is 57. So the most important card in 58, and I think most collectors tend to agree, is probably the Alifa Bologuet. This is a beautiful card for Pelé. By the way, everything you are seeing on the screen is, we consider, rookie material. Pelé for the GOATs, not in terms of total number of cards, but different cards, is actually the GOAT, talking about Pelé, Maradona. Pelé, Maradona, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, is actually the one that have the more diversity in terms of rookie material, which I think is actually quite amazing, because in my perspective the Pelé market is almost a perfect market. You have some cards with strong rarity, a true rarity. You have also cards with condition rarity. And you have cards that everyone can find, like the Aquarela. So I actually really believe the Pelé market, even though I don't collect Pelé, but I really believe that Pelé market is a very special one and an amazing one. So let's start with Alifa Bologuet. And Alifa Bologuet PSA total is over 100 copies at this point. Actually remember people saying that this card will never go up 100 copies. This also puts in perspective, we need to be careful when we say this is true rarity or not. That's why I say strong rarity instead of true rarity. The top grade for this card is PSA 9, and there is 6 copies. The top sale was actually quite recently, I would say, was a PSA 9, of course, for $1.3 million. It's the most expensive card ever sold in the soccer card market. I would say the second, I feel uncomfortable to say the most important card in 58. The second most important card in 58 is the Aquarela, but I think it's probably the second most popular after the Alifa Bologuet. And I'm talking about 58 Editor Aquarela. There is a black number version and a blue number version. Basically, the card is the same, but in the back the number have a different color. The market right now, as far as I'm aware, I don't see paying a premium for one version versus the other. I know there is some rumors that one is from 59 versus the other versus 58. I don't have any confirmation on this. I remember reading this somewhere. But even the pop reports, they are quite similar, so I'm going with both versions, and the pop you are seeing on the screen is for blue and black. But like I said, I don't see the market making a huge difference between them. And by the way, it's just a call, it's not something, it's not that we are talking about something very, very relevant. So PSA total for both versions is 234. Top grade is an 8 with just one copy, and the top sale, I believe, is actually in the black version, by the way, in the black number version. And the top sale was 168k for a PSA 8. Like I said, there is two versions, the black and the blue. Moving on to another card that I also love quite a lot is the 58 Ave Coleção Titulares. This card, the PSA total is 30, top grade is 6 with just one copy, and there is 3 versions on this card. I believe one does not have the star, the other does not have the auto and the star, and there is another one with the auto. I could be wrong on this, but keep that in mind, there is 3 versions for this card. Then there is the 58 Americana. The pop total for this card is 16 and the top grade is 6.5, talking about PSA. By the way, I'm just sharing the total pop for PSA, but if you want to do a better research, you also need to take a look at Beckett, SEC, and maybe even other fringe companies. This card is probably my favorite Pelé in terms of the picture. If one day I want to buy one, I believe this is still one that I can afford if I sell a lot of stuff, to be honest. But it's a beautiful card, my favorite Pelé. Love the picture. I think is a grail card for Pelé. Moving on to Key Goal Pelé. At one point this was probably as popular as the Alifa Bologet, but recently, when I say recently, in the last 2-3 years, more people have been saying this card could be 59, 6, even 61. So there is that. People do not trust this card being from 58. As far as I'm aware, PSA and SEC still put 58/59. Again, do your own research, make your own judgment on this, but I end up still putting this on the 58 since that PSA and SEC are still doing that way. So PSA total is 93 and top grade is 8 with 3 copies. This card, again, is actually quite expensive, even if the market already recognizes is not 58. The next card is the José Inocente, also a very difficult card to find as far as I'm aware. PSA total is 4, the top grade is PSA 2, and there is 2 copies on the top grade. Moving on to Montigame Pelé, there is a couple of variations for this card. This is a cartoon. I know some people do not like the cartoon. PSA total is 50 for all the variations, by the way. Top grade is an 8 with just one copy, and there is 3 versions on this card. Again, if you go to the PSA website, you probably find the different versions. Moving on to 58/59 VAV. Figurine Calcio. This is also a difficult Pelé to find. You can see, again, there is 2 players. You have Vava, legendary player, by the way, and Pelé, and the PSA total is 43, top grade 6 with just one copy at PSA 6. Moving on to another very popular card in the hobby is the Record Pelé. This is a version with Garrincha. This card is a bit I would not say weird, but it's confused because you can see just Garrincha alone, you can see just Pelé alone. Sometimes you don't see the red, sometimes this is uncut from a magazine. Sometimes you just see the players without the... And sometimes the red is very large, like this one. Sometimes it's very slim. So look, uncut is a bit of a mess, if I'm going to be honest. Top grade for this card is actually a PSA 10, and there is 2 copies. I'm putting all the variations, in this case with Garrincha and with Pelé alone, and the PSA total for this is 239 copies. I actually prefer the 2 players together because Garrincha is also one of the goats for Brazil, so I think it's an iconic card to have. Moving on to another card that have Pelé and Garrincha. This one I like much less why this was actually cut from a vinyl album. Does not make a lot of sense that the grading company started grading this, but at this point, guys, it is what it is. There is nothing we can do. So PSA total for this one is 169 copies. The top grade is a 6, and there is just one. I believe the top grade is actually Pelé alone. This card you can find in different variations. You can find just Pelé, you can find Pelé with Garrincha and Zagallo, and I believe there is even more. So again, a bit of a mess, also a hand-cut type of card. Moving on, the next one is 58 Ave Pelé, coleção titulares, same set as this one, the coleção titulares, but number 86. This, I believe, is a bit more common. Beautiful Pelé, if you ask me, at this time with Santos. The pop total for this one is 65 and the top grade is 8 with just one copy. Now the part 2 of the Pelé rookie material in 58. We start with, this is a match which, again, vintage, you really need to have an open mind, but there is a couple of variations. This is 26 copies, for the other one there is only 5. This is from, I believe, Israel, but there is, for example, I was talking with All about this card, and there is no confirmation this is actually from 58. That being said, I'm putting the card on the screen. Since PSA grades this and puts 58, there is just one copy. Now, one thing that, to make the video a little bit faster, there is a lot of action shots for Pelé in 58, Verlag, Bremen, all of them I think are great cards. I like these two in particular, specific this one where you can see Pelé crying, a very emotional moment after they end up winning the World Cup in 58. I love this card, but there is multiple action shots and multiple team cards, so have that in mind. Another thing to have in mind is there is always new stuff appearing when it comes to vintage, even pre-modern, but I would say vintage probably a bit more. So have that in consideration. If you are watching this video 1 year from now, there is a scenario that maybe there is a new Pelé rookie or maybe there is 2 new Pelé rookies. I would not be surprised at all. Again, over time things will get better, but we are in a discover phase and I think that's important to have in mind. So guys, before you continue the video, just one thing. One debate that is quite common among Pelé collectors, people that love the rookie material for Pelé is, don't you think that the most important card for Pelé should be from Brazil? Why is the Leaf Bologet actually released in Sweden being the Grail? Well, at the end of the day, we are talking about a super speculative asset, and some people like that the Leaf Bologet actually have a lot of history, a lot of lore. Being from the original country where the World Cup took place is also quite important, but you have to have an open mind when it comes to the Pelé market, because as you can see, I'm sharing with you 4 cards that are rookie material, like I already ended up explaining. And look, the Vava card is from Italy, you have the Americana from Brazil that a lot of people will like, and the reality is the 57 releases are from Brazil, and in my perspective, those are the true rookies. Because you can tell me, oh, don't you think that Cristiano Ronaldo rookies being from Portugal are much more special than if there was a rookie from, let's say, Spain? Of course, but the Pelé market is different and it is what it is, especially if you are talking about the 58. I also love the Leaf Bologet. I think being from Sweden, there is something special there. Do I prefer, for example, the Americana being from Brazil? Yes, but it's just my personal opinion. I also understand if people see things in a different way. So let's continue. Before I continue with the video, let me just say two things actually. I have a Patreon community where I put content every week. It's more about the finance side of the market. There is more than 70 exclusive videos there. So if you love my content on YouTube, you probably love my content on Patreon. Link will be below the video. Another thing that you should join is my Discord community. We are more than 800 members. Link will also be below the video / description. And this is an amazing place to learn and share. Amazing collectors there. You can share your collection. You can even buy and sell because we have categories for that. So join the Discord. There is no reason to not do it. Rookie material for Pelé, in this case 59. 59, I understand, is not the rookie year, but same logic goes for 58 if we want to be honest, even though in 58 you can say is the first year at World Cup, but I still look at 59 cards like rookie material. If you disagree with me, that's totally fine. There is amazing cards in 59, starting with this one, Balas Ídolos de Futebol. Certain people believe this card could actually be 58-59. Again, I'm sharing with you what PSA puts, so it's 59 and the PSA total is 6. Moving on to another beautiful card, this is Torneio de São Paulo, Editora Canela. There is two versions for this one, the red version and the blue version. Both versions together, PSA total is 2. As you can see, this is a SGC slab. You need to do a deeper research if you want to have an idea of the entire pop, but apply the same logic for all cards in the video. Now we have Einarl 59. This is a very popular set in the hobby. Beautiful cards. Again, it's quite more common than the other cards you are seeing on the screen. As you can see, the PSA total is 167 cards. There is some condition rarity, of course, and is a nice collectible, probably more affordable than the others. Moving on to Master Vending, I believe this is an Italian release. PSA total is 4. You are seeing on the screen that says 60s instead of 59. I was talking with Al, again, LG Collection, and he believes that this card could be 59 and not 60s. That's why I end up putting this on the 59 category. And apart from that, I love the look of this card. I think actually is one of the best cards ever made for Pelé in the early years. Moving on, now we have 59 Americana, Balas Figurinhas Campeonato. This is a very difficult card to find for sure. I believe there is 2 variations and the PSA total, again, for both variations is actually 7. The next card is Oliveira Benassi. So in terms of lineage, you guys are already understanding something here. Actually love the photo, seems quite unique, and the PSA total is 5. So all of these cards I think are quite amazing. Apart from the Einarl, all of them tend to be quite difficult to find in my experience. Moving on, now let's talk about Panini. Since I understand some people may prefer to collect bigger brands like Panini, I think that's a huge mistake, especially in vintage. But I also think certain Panini releases are very important for Pelé. For me, the 64 Panini Calciatore is an amazing collectible. It's the first Panini sticker for Pelé. And we also have the 70 Panini World Cup sticker Pelé. This is the first year that Panini ended up releasing the World Cup album. So there is a lot of history. It's probably the best one from the two if I had to give you an opinion, but I like both. PSA total for the 64 blank back is 74 and for the Valida back is 50. Normally I just put the 2 versions, but in this case I thought why not just share with you guys the different pops for different versions. For this one, forget about, there is actually a lot of different variations. The normal version is 85 copies. Like I said, both stickers are quite important. First Panini sticker and first Panini sticker at World Cup level. Moving on, we have the 4 World Cups for Pelé. Pelé ended up winning 3 of the 4. I think this could be a great way to collect. There is multiple choices and I'm putting a couple that I really like. I love the look of the Aquarelle on 58. I think this is a beautiful card in Lampo Calcio in 62. We also have a Panini sticker in 66 and of course the World Cup sticker in the 70s. Now let's talk about Pelé, different years. Look, the Pelé market is an amazing one. It's actually a complex one, but there is a lot of beautiful product. Pelé was a giant superstar. You can find cards in different countries like Germany, Brazil, Argentina. There is so many. If you love to grind a market, Pelé is one of the best markets you can find. All of the cards you guys are seeing on the screen I think are extremely beautiful. Great collectibles. Probably the one that I like the most is this figurita. I love that Pelé have the king, have the crown, so O Rei Pelé. Beautiful stuff. All of this Some will be more difficult to find than others, but if you grind the market, since Pelé have so many options, you probably can build an amazing collection for Pelé, and maybe even in the budget. But keep in mind that when we talk about the GOAT market, there is always a premium associated. So Pele market is very strong. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I talk about the most expensive cars ever in soccer, and you can see if you look at the top 10, you have 5 Pele. So this should give you an idea how important Pele is for our market, and of course makes sense. Is the vintage GOAT, could be even the GOAT in general. So amazing player, amazing player to collect. Guys, is everything for today. Thank you for watching. This was a video that I had a lot of fun to record. I hope you enjoyed. If that's the case, leaving a like is the only thing I'm asking for. And see you guys next time.